Hello and welcome to the rMetroidvania podcast. I am Professor Q, and I have Caldroth and Master here with me today. If you want to introduce yourselves, go ahead, Caldroth.
This is Caldrath from the rMetroidvania and the Discord.
This is Master. I'm also from there.
And let me get off this screen here so we can actually see the game. And what game are we playing this week, Master?
Well, this week we're playing Rain World. Some people say it's a Metroidvania. Some people say it isn't because the only gating it has is knowledge gating. Let's find out what it actually is.
Spoiler alert, it has some other gating, but is never permanent upgrades. But yeah.
Okay, maybe by the time we get through the stream, we'll be able to decide what it is.
So the number one question I get, or got when I told people that this is what you were going to be playing this week, is this your first time? Because they want to know how much you're going to suffer.
Okay, well, I've played 2 hours of it before and didn't get far at all.
Did you get past the first area at all?
No. I mean, maybe, but no.
Okay. And you're going to go Survivor, right?
Yes. Actually, so it wasn't even 2 hours in the same playthrough. Like, I about half of that was one playthrough and half was the other. Because I haven't actually gotten into this game yet.
All right. Well, maybe we can make some. Maybe you can make some headway.
I think best case scenario, I'll get up to where I was last time. I don't really remember much about it though.
This tree looks very Ori.
It does. Wait, that's straight up the Ori tree. Look this up.
Did this game come first?
Yeah, and
this game came first. Wait, did it?
The slug cats
actually
also
not
look
sure.
kind of Ori-ish too.
Let me know if the music's too loud, Salmace. I love the music in this game. It's so haunting, and because it's so minimalist.
This intro is definitely better than Ori's.
I was about to mention that one big difference between this and Ori is that the intro is not fully animated. In some ways, though, that makes it more haunting.
This definitely makes it better than just like having a cutscene. Look how sad that slug cat is.
Not the slug cat. Welcome, Silver. I'm getting excited. Like, after beating this game, I love this game now. Like, I don't know. This game, like, beats it into you.
Oh, that's encouraging.
Beats the love into you.
I think a lot of people just like watching other people play games they suffered through just to see how they suffer as well.
That's one of the big appeals of watching newbies play Dark Souls, yeah.
Oh, it's interesting. So, circle's supposed to be throw, but I guess circle's my jump.
Oh, what controller are you playing with?
It's the DualShock 4, same thing that's on the prompt.
That's interesting.
Oh well.
Huh. Well, if you have any issues with it, let us know. You can always mess with it.
I'm hungry and I must find food, apparently.
I like how they
Always hungry.
It's a yellow thing stalking me.
It's been forever since I played this part, and at least not as the survivor anyway, and I forgot that they put fruit just out of your reach at that first part.
It's so mean. Those look like spikes. They scare me, but they're not spikes.
A healthy fear of everything you see is not a bad idea for this game.
So my square is my X.
I see. Is that bad?
I mean, it's actually better because I wouldn't have to press two opposite face buttons.
Do you have some sort of thing where it maps your PlayStation controller to an Xbox controller?
I do, but I don't believe it's active. Either way, it's not a big deal.
I mean, yeah, like I said, if you're having trouble, then definitely, because of the controls, then definitely we'll take a break and you can get that fixed.
No, I've dealt with plenty of controls more awkward than this.
All right, well, while you're finishing up the tutorial there, did we want to jump into our first topic?
Yes.
Sounds good.
What is our first topic?
So Caldera suggested that we talked about whether it's better for a Metroidvania to have a lonely atmosphere with kind of forced loneliness, or if it's okay to have population and have you not be the single player in the game's world. I don't know if that made sense coming out. Maybe Caldera can explain it better.
It's kind of the contrast between, I guess, like Metroid is one of the most like isolated series, where it's just like you versus the world. But then you have some Metroidvanias that have like you got a town that you can go back to, and then you can like talk to the NPCs there, and they're friendly towards you, and they help you out with things. And it definitely makes for a different kind of atmosphere, where it's just like there's nowhere for you to go that's safe. Although there are some cases where like there can be a really familiar area that like you're used to.
Like a hub?
So yeah, like even if there's no one there, it still is kind of like home.
I
Like
definitely think it's better to have less people everywhere.
but what Caldera is saying is like Samus's ship could qualify as a home area or a safe place that you can always return to.
It would. That's a lot different than just a hub, though,
Yeah, like
because it's just a save point basically.
yeah, you don't go back to the ship that often.
You
There's
do go.
a like point where you like circle around the map, and then like say in Dark Souls where you like wind up back at the Firelink Shrine after like looping around the whole like a lot of the world, and then you're like, oh, this is that place from the very beginning of the game again.
Super Metroid, one of the things that is often praised about it is you do have to return to the ship's area a couple of times, and the first time it's really haunting, and then like I think the second time you go there, it's like playing Samus's theme, kind of that heroic fanfare theme. Sorry, I went quiet because I saw something and I was interested in what was going to happen just now on the cave.
So the lesson here is whenever Prof gets quiet, you need to be very concerned.
I saw the green flash on the pipe and I was like, You do get hyper alert. Silver just said PTSD just kicked in, and you do get very hyper alert after playing this game for a while. I have no idea how well I would perform. It's been like 3 months since I beat this game, or something like that. I'd probably be terrible at it going back to it. But yeah, I do think that Samus's ship does kind of qualify as just a familiar landmark, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And that's interesting that you bring that up as a feature of that. Isolation is the word I was looking for when I was trying to describe it. I think that's a better word for it. Is there any games that in Metroid where your ship is ever violated, like as a safe spot? I think maybe Metroid Prime 2 does.
You kind of crash into, but I mean that's at the beginning. Oh god.
Games where you like wind up where you're like going back to the ship and then something's there.
Yeah.
Fusion, like you wind up back at your ship right at the end, and then 2 as well.
You end up at your ship at the end, and it's your escape mechanism. 2 is very somber and quiet at the end, but I think in Fusion you do actually do. Spoiler alert! I think you may run into something there, but I'm just trying to think if that trope's ever been subverted in the Metroid series itself. I know it's talking about this is probably going to spoil any game that we mention it on. There's a few games where you have your safe area or the familiar area, and then halfway through the game it suddenly becomes more dangerous than it was originally. And I think that's kind of a neat change, but I think even with those games, you sometimes have like a town area that kind of serves as a safe spot anyway. So I guess one of the questions about this is isolationist better than the alternative of actually having NPCs around? Master said that he thinks it's generally better.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have anything, like any reason why you feel that way?
Well, I feel like really bad NPCs can take you out of the experience more than they could necessarily make a game better. I mean, I'm not saying NPCs are bad, but...
So you're saying that by default, not having them is better, or it has a level of quality to it, and then adding NPCs can move that quality up or down, and it has more potential to go down, is what you're saying.
Yes.
I could agree with that. Generally speaking, I think that most NPCs, their biggest issue is not having any personality, being just a shopkeep, or might as well be a vending machine, rather than being actively detrimental to the game. But can you think of like an example of where NPCs definitely hurt the game for you?
I mean, it's not that they're terrible, but a lot of the NPCs in Castlevania, they're just there.
Sure.
They don't do anything.
Like Aria of Sorrow, you have Mr. Grenade. What is his name? The bald dude that kind of just works as a weapon shop dude. I don't know though, because I really like the Librarian in Symphony of the Night, but that's only because he's kind of campy funny.
Am I coming out? Oh god. Oh. It's terrifying.
Maybe we should direct the next question at Caldroth. Just what do you think, Caldroth? Can you think of any examples where NPCs actually made things worse, or do you think that NPCs are actually better?
So Rabby Ribby, I actually quit playing that game the very first time because there was so much like just NPCs talking about stuff I absolutely did not care about. And then when I realized I could just skip all the dialogue, I actually thought it was a really good game.
To be quite honest, as dumb as Rabby Ribby was, I was somewhat... Okay, so I actually kind of enjoyed So Bad It's Good to a degree. And Rabby Ribby definitely hits that for me. On that same token, though, it is extremely cringe. To say the least. To say it makes the game better or worse, to have them, like you said, you can just skip the dialogue if you want. I don't know, though. The events in that game, or just everything that's happening in that game, is about as crazy or dumb as the dialogue is. So I don't know if it hurts or helps that game or not.
So it's there if you want it, but like it's a really solid game if you don't have it there, and it's really time consuming. Like there's a question of opportunity cost. Anytime you're spending listening to inane NPC dialogue is time you're not spending playing the game.
Sure, and I guess the moral of the story here is that you're able to skip it, and when you can't, then it starts to become more of a feature that you need to consider when you're evaluating the game.
Right.
I think that's fair. I think that most people would agree with that. There's some games though I think that the NPCs made the game for me. Like the Messenger is a good example of that. And I know that I know Master doesn't really care for the Messenger. Where's your standing on the Messenger, Caldrath?
I actually liked the dialogue, like the shopkeeper had.
Yeah. For me, that was almost the best part of the game. Like I didn't expect that going into it, but one of my favorite parts of that game is that shopkeeper.
Yeah, I actually like kept talking to him and listening to all his stories.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think part of it is like he was actually legitimately funny.
Right. Yeah, whoever wrote that guy did a very good job, and that is the kind of writers we need in gaming.
Yeah.
The fact that he's such a well-written NPC actually makes me kind of excited for their next game, which I guess takes place in the same universe, but it's a JRPG. And the fact that they were able to write such good dialogue for that character makes me think that that's likely going to be a pretty good JRPG.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the Chrono Trigger inspired one.
Yasunori Mitsuda is actually doing the music for it. I don't think it's necessarily Chrono Trigger inspired per se, but it is a JRPG, so it's the same genre as Chrono Trigger. Yeah, how's it going, Sphere Korriban? Yeah, Barbarian was actually pretty funny too. The thing that surprised me most about Barbarian, okay, so I made this analogy to a friend of mine, just trying to describe Barbarian to him as far as like the way the humor was handled. And when I say comedy and thinking of movies, what's the first movie you think of?
Oh, it's a tough question. I don't watch movies.
Who has time to watch movies when you have all these Metroidvanias?
That's kind of where I'm at. But like the first thing I think of when I think of comedy movie is like Dumb and Dumber. Like this kind of obviously playing it for jokes, sometimes cringy type humor. So when I heard that Barbarian was going to be a comedy, that's what I thought of. But it's more like Ghostbusters, where Ghostbusters, like everybody kind of plays it serious, but they say funny things. If that makes sense. The original Ghostbusters, of course.
Does make sense.
And like the humor seems natural, I guess, in that game.
Yeah, a lot of times when a game advertises itself as being comedy based, it feels really forced and winds up not being funny because it feels forced.
Right. Yeah, when something declares itself as a comedy, anytime somebody says "I'm so funny," you immediately are skeptical of that. And Barbarian to me wasn't like a laugh a minute type comedy, but it was genuinely funny, which makes it really good, in my opinion. First kill. Down by the pink lizard.
I thought I could like stun it and then jump over it, but that didn't quite work.
I actually thought as soon as I saw that it was a pink lizard, I'm like, he's probably not going to handle it. Oh my gosh, you got a red lizard already? What's going on here?
Yeah. Well,
it's taking so long.
Don't tell me what they do.
Kill you.
Don't tell me what makes them different. But yes, there's been a variety of lizards so far.
I'm being completely racist here. I'm judging them completely by the colors.
That was weird. I had to press like I had to push in my right thumbstick for options.
Luckily, you had the yellow flower, so Silverand said something there that I actually did not know about.
The heck is the yellow flower?
It protected your karma from going down.
I don't know what that means.
Okay, well, you can either I can either tell you or you can find out yourself. What's that? Don't tell you?
It doesn't have text, so how do you know it's called karma?
It does have text.
Okay, I guess
Cough.
it doesn't have any text. The amount of the game that I played.
So why would my karma go down for dying? Like I didn't do anything wrong.
You think that your dying was correct?
Well, no, but I mean, Well, it depends on your stance.
So when you ate that flower, you notice there's an extra circle around that circle on
Yes,
your bottom left.
I
right?
noticed that.
Yeah,
I noticed there's now dots. The dots are kind of already there, but the 4 things on the around it are there, and that's new.
What the dots are should be pretty easy to figure out.
Right, I want to go to that sign up there. Oh wait, is that just the save point?
Yeah, that little
Right.
the little bucket thing. Yeah, that's those are checkpoints.
While we're on the subject of NPCs, do we want to discuss Time Spinner?
I haven't played it. It seems bad.
I don't know if I have much to say about Time Spinner. Really, so my attitude when it comes to story and NPCs is that what a story should be in a Metroidvania game is it should entice you to want to see how it turns out. And what happens when you get there is less important than the gameplay being good. And I think Time Spinner accomplishes that. Now, whether or not you are disappointed by what happens when you get there is up to you. I think that the ending was fine. But I think what people usually have, you just ate mushrooms. Now you're all I'm sitting here talking and Master's busy doing drugs. I think that when people complain about the dialogue in Time Spinner, they're referring specifically to the quest line. I guess if you do quests for everybody, you get like some special scenes.
Campfire scene.
Yeah, the campfire scenes. If you do all the quests, and it's up to you whether or not you're disappointed by that. I didn't get much out of it, and honestly, the reward wasn't really that worth it to me from a gameplay perspective. But from the overarching story standpoint, I thought that Time Spinner was just fine.
Yeah.
And
I did not like the campfire scene, especially because I felt like they handled the rest of the game really, really well. Where like they just act like all the stuff is normal, and then the campfire scene is like 20 straight minutes of
ham-fistedness.
Yeah.
I agree with that. To me also, though, it was a little bit interesting to me because I know that the developer himself is a homosexual, so seeing that from that perspective, because it's not something I'm as familiar with, was interesting to me. Regardless of what the quality of that writing was, I agree that the writing probably wasn't the best at that part. So, I mean, it sounds like you were disappointed, though. You were in the group that was disappointed by that scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I can completely understand that. My opinion about Time Spinner is almost entirely gameplay related. I think that from a story perspective, though, I think it did a pretty good job accomplishing what I feel is the most important thing, and that is driving the player forward or giving the player something to look forward to. And I feel that the ending itself was fine. That I think that the campfire scene could have been made better if the rewards, the equipment that you got from it, was more interesting. To me, anyway.
I don't even remember what item you got from that.
And as Fear Kurabon says, it's completely optional if you don't want to bother with it.
this thing's gonna kill me.
It's a thing, so yes.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not going to tell you what those things are. If you want an honest answer about that thing, you will know when it wants to kill you. Where'd the fruit go?
I shot it. Or threw something at it, I mean. Because I had my hands full.
So I guess, okay, so Cauldron, I guess a good question is I mean, we're not playing Time Spinner right now, so it's hard to discuss the scene because it's also a little bit spoilery. But without going into spoilers, how do you think that scene could be improved?
Oh,
Just remove it.
Just remove it. I think that's a valid response.
Like, if you feel the need to put 20 minutes of dialogue in a game, like just straight non-stop dialogue in a game that wasn't that dialogue heavy to begin with, like, you might want to rethink something.
will I die if I touch that?
There's only one way to find out.
I recommend jumping over it.
Okay, well, I don't think I can jump over it. Wait, can I get back up?
It looks like you're stuck.
The heck?
You might be able to do a flip up there, but that would require mad
flip?
skills. Yeah.
It's a flip.
It's where you turn over while you're jumping.
Oh, you haven't. So okay? Throw your spear into the wall.
Oh, I remember. I actually remember that I can do that.
I think you threw it too high. Well, you got it barely. You might want to grab another spear though while you're here.
No, I'm good.
Grass too scary. Get away.
There's a spear up here, so.
Okay. There's your ability gate right there. Call, draw out those spears.
They're just consumable abilities.
That is how I would describe. So if you wanted to make an argument that any of the abilities in this game, or any of the movement abilities in this game, are Metroidvania abilities, they are all consumable.
Is it raining?
Notice the number of dots, Master?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know where the save points are. I've moved so far.
They do show up on your map.
Okay, well, it takes like 20 seconds to open the map.
Somebody described the map as going into the slug cat's brain, and
Guess I'll die up here.
it's their remembering.
The screen shake is making me nauseous.
It's all part of the experience.
Just going back down here. I'm gonna try to. Let's see. Is there actually a save point close? No, not at all. Oh, I'm drowning. Okay.
Maybe there's one past the grass.
I mean, I can't go down there now. It's full of water. It's I see why they call it Rain World.
It's actually surprisingly taking his time on this screen.
Is there a way to turn off the screen shake? Like, oh my god.
There might
I can
be.
barely tell what I'm doing.
I think they added options for colorblind people. Although I don't know if that's a major issue in this game, so maybe not this game. I'll wait till Master dies before
Jeez,
continuing
I'm
on
just
with the
gonna
topic.
sit here.
You're a little pig. Okay.
Welcome to Rain World.
I'm imagining
Guess I
that
should keep
comic
going left.
where Link is like going up to the skeleton and getting stabbed.
Oh yeah. Welcome to Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Oh,
the yellow
yellow
thing's
flower
gone.
for you. Sorry.
Why can't I eat my yellow friend?
That's the game subtly telling you to get good. So my thought on that campfire scene is I think the biggest problem with it, not besides the writing, like in general, I think the writing in Time Splitter needs an editor. And that applies to the logs that you pick up, and a lot of the dialogue I think probably could have gone through a few more people, and just professional editors, and had more suggestions made to make it more engaging. But and this is an issue with that I think any indie has to deal with. But I think the biggest problem with that campfire scene is that the characters were kind of shopkeepers before that. Like, you had a couple of scenes with them, you kind of helped them through things, but I never really got a sense that I, as a player, developed any sort of friendship with them.
Did I just eat a rock?
Fiverr, it's fine.
And this is the problem with any kind of emotional payoff. Like that campfire scene needs to be the final payoff for all of the time you spent with those characters. And I didn't feel like the time you spent with them was quality enough to justify, especially not the subject matter which they talk about. I think that's how I would look to improve it. And yes, you probably could cut it down from 20 minutes. I don't know if it's actually 20 minutes. I think that's an exaggeration, but
I'm pretty sure it was 20 minutes.
do you think it might be? Yeah. So I was playing that game co-op the whole time with Awfully. He's over on the Discord. We do co-op, and you got really lucky here, Master.
What do you mean?
Well,
It doesn't look very lucky.
well, we'll see how lucky you are.
Oh my god, it's coming after me. Oh, there's nowhere for me to go here. This is just a dead end.
Yep.
Wow.
I'm like really like biting my tongue right now, trying to not tell you about rules that might help you in this situation.
Well, I do remember something. I remember going through tubes the same time that enemies did and nothing bad happened. So I'm assuming that's a rule.
Yeah, when you're in pipes, you're invincible. So when you watch pro players play this game, they like bounce back and forth in pipes all the time. It's funny.
Oh. There's just...
Pink's
They're
okay.
going both ways.
Pink's okay. Pink's safe. Green's
it's
bad.
not.
Green is bad.
It's just gonna be like everything going back and forth in this pipe forever.
So anyway, I was playing Time Splitter co-op the entire time I was playing it, so I got to read that scene or go through that scene with a friend sitting next to me, and that was fun. The co-op in Time Spinner is interesting. It's one of those, like, I'm glad it's there, but at the same time, it's like you'd have to have the right type of situation to enjoy it.
I didn't even realize that game had co-op.
Basically, it lets you control the summon, like the familiar summon, and they don't really have a lot they can do.
Oh, why did I fall?
So you did spot that.
Yeah, I did spot that. I'm not
Okay.
I'm not stupid.
So when I
But
said
I
you
don't
were
know how to get
lucky,
past it.
when you were lucky, when I came in here, it didn't fan out like that. So I did not know that was a creature until...
Okay, so am I just like not able to get past it? Because throwing stuff at it didn't work. I don't have a spirit.
Do you want a hint?
I mean, you can tell me. I kind of want to leave before the water kills me.
Okay, well, you got a lizard on the other side too, but as long as you don't try and climb it, you're fine. So you can jump past it. Okay.
And go past it as long as I don't like press up on it.
Right.
That lizard's waiting for me.
He's just a dumb green one. See, he falls like a rock. He's your safe now.
I fall
Unless
like a
you
rock.
fall like a rock. So just jump past it. No, that's,
did not-
that's exactly what you don't want to do. Come on, you can do it. Oh.
I wasn't even on it. I pressed up when I was on the horizontal one, and it just automatically put me on the plant.
What I usually do is I get on the right vertical bar, and then I jump past onto the other vertical bar. Don't forget your speed.
You're right. I thought I'd be okay if I just jumped onto the horizontal bar, but apparently not. Apparently the game just assumes that I wanted to die. So what were we talking about?
We were talking about NPC dialogue. Are we done with that subject? Do we want to move on to the next subject? Does anybody in the chat have any thoughts about NPC dialogue and isolation and all that?
Not really.
Sphere Kurban said this before I even mentioned it. I actually just noticed that text. He said that, or they said that maybe they should have developed the characters more than the camp scene. That was kind of my same feeling on it, is that just it didn't feel like it was developed enough for what it was trying to accomplish. Lizard fight.
Yeah, actually, that reminds me of like, so in all these zombie games, like the real horrifying part of zombies is like seeing somebody that you know become this thing. But then like in almost all the zombie games, they're all just like generic people that you've never seen before.
That is one of the most memorable parts of Resident Evil 2 is when Martin transforms.
What's with the purple light?
It's probably fine.
It's a good question.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that, I mean, with any trend, I guess you could say, people just kind of, like, the reason why it exists, people don't care about. They just have it. Like, they just have zombies without the part that makes them actually scary because it's the trend. Trying to understand what's going on in that picture.
I actually have no idea. So you understand what's happening in this room?
No.
All the clues are there.
There's a symbol, so I'm guessing I can only go through there a certain day, maybe, because
Well,
it
there's
seems
two
like the symbol
symbols.
progresses each day, and there's a symbol in that head thing.
Yeah, there's two symbols on the screen that are the same symbol.
Right, so I go over here and the thing starts flashing red. So do I need to be on... If I have this symbol, I should be on the other side, but I'm on this side.
Right. Yeah, if you're coming through from the other direction, that symbol would be enough.
So I'm guessing that's a way to get to a different area.
Well, the other subject I had for tonight was unfair difficulty. Or unfairness in games. Is it always bad?
No.
How do you define something being unfair?
That's entirely subjective and actually one of the more interesting parts of the discussion, I think. What would you define as unfair, Calderoth?
Generally, I would consider something unfair if you can't complete the task the first time you attempt to do it, no matter how good you are at it. So, like, if it requires knowledge that you couldn't have possibly had going into it.
So you're in the camp that says that Quickman stage in Mega Man 2 is unfair.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we actually discussed this already on the stream.
Have we talked about... I think we talked about Quickman stage, yeah. So is Rain World unfair?
Maybe. By your definition, probably yes. Oh my god.
So I think that for like something being unfair isn't necessarily bad.
Sure.
Like, I think kind of the point of Rain World is to be kind of unfair. And like, if you've ever played I Want to Be the Guy, the point of that game is for it to be unfair for like comedic value.
So Silverend says, yeah, Rain World's unfair.
Is there a way to drop things in front of me instead of just throwing them across the room?
Yeah, I think it's the same button as grab, and you just hold down when you do it. If you remember correctly, this is where you got stuck before. Oh, I guess you're back here again.
Well, I want to feed the plants.
That's behaving weird.
Oh, they don't really care, apparently. Should probably just leave them.
Well, there is a way for you to feed the plants.
Whoa, with that
Like that Buddhist guy who like throws himself to those lions so he could feed the lions. That famous story.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it won't let me... Oh, there we go.
I've got the Asian studies background, so so there's a story of a famous Buddhist priest that sacrificed himself because he was like in a pit he was near a pit where there was some tigers or something. I'm getting this story completely wrong, But basically, they were starving, and he said, "Well, it's better that you live than me." And he threw himself into the pit and let them eat him. And that made him, really strong spiritually, I guess.
I don't like this.
I can't remember if the lizards hunt the flies or not.
I'm just gonna go a different direction.
So, in
Probably
my opinion,
back where I came.
it's not really unfair unless it's explicitly random. Like, I don't think that dying is necessarily unfair. And dying to learn is not necessarily unfair to me, and you can completely disagree. Yeah, it's only unfair if I can't beat it, is what Silverian says.
So, yeah, like I was saying, I don't think it's necessarily bad if it's unfair, but you can still describe it as being unfair.
Sure, and I guess that with that in mind, it doesn't really matter what you call unfair.
This map is awful.
If it's irrelevant to it being good or bad, or if unfairness isn't necessarily a bad trait, then I guess it doesn't really matter what you call unfair.
What about games that explicitly try to be unfair? Would you still call them unfair?
Welcome,
Or are they
Denzel.
being fair in the terms of their game?
Right, like I
Like,
want to
I
be
wanna
the
be
guy.
the guy.
Yeah.
I Want to Be the Guy is explicitly trying to be unfair, and it would not be as good of a game for what it is if it was fair.
It's raining lizards, I guess.
It wouldn't be the game it's supposed to be. Now, whether or not I want to be the guy is actually good or bad is definitely. I haven't played it myself. I don't know if it would drive me insane or not. I know a lot of people really like it, so I'd have a hard time, without actually trying it, saying that what it does is necessarily bad. But
That would probably be a good stream game because of the suffering.
I was actually surprised that's not streamed more often. I wonder why.
I think it just got a lot of streaming when it first came out, and then like people got like, I don't know, like sick of it.
Okay, there's got to be a save point around here somewhere. I'm near a yellow thing. Last time I was near a save point.
You're thinking too much like regular games here, Master.
Okay. Well, if I go down there, I'm just gonna die from the
But do you
rain.
think this is a
I want to
fair
jump
game?
up here, but I can't jump that high.
You're not gonna grab the yellow thing?
No, I don't really care. I don't know what
Okay.
it does.
I hate karma.
I don't.
Who needs
You
karma?
totally
Karma
never
is-
beat yourself to the lions.
No, I can't climb anymore.
Silver
Can I
is
just
having
sleep
fun.
here? This is as secure as any safe spot.
So I watched a lore video after I beat this game, and it's actually really interesting, like how they justify everything that happens in this game.
You're just delaying the inevitable at this point.
I like the sounds of the rain. Yeah, again, for some reason options is like my right thumbstick. Very weird.
So on the subject of unfairness, I think that this is definitely in the category of I want to be the guy, in the sense that it is explicitly unfair because that is part of the theming.
Yeah, the unfairness needs to be like what the game is designed around. If you just like randomly put an unfair section in a game for no reason, then that winds up being negative for the game. Like, it's a matter of consistency.
Oh, pink ones climb stuff. That's why they're special.
So by my definition of unfair, where it needs to have randomness in order to be unfair, something you can't control or ever control, is kind of my criteria for unfair. And this game definitely has that, because those lizards were not in this room the first time Master got here. If you're lucky, you could go into this room, you could cross an entire area and not run into a single monster. Later areas, that's pretty much an impossibility, statistically speaking, but it's still there as a possibility. And there are elements in this game that will help you along. And I actually think there might be some kind of dynamic difficulty going on. Like the more you die, the nicer the game is to you, I think. But it's definitely random.
Maybe karma works in reverse in this game.
I don't know.
Or
I'm
maybe
not
you have to
sure.
develop enough bad karma to like progress forward. Like it's not actually good.
Well, I mean, there was definitely some. Actually, let me think. No, there's never a situation where high karma is ever not a good thing.
I mean, like morally good or bad. Like karma is usually referring to like
Morality, right?
out into the universe. And the way you increase your karma in this game is by eating things and taking naps. So,
Well, that goes into lore stuff that I don't necessarily want to talk about on this stream because it may enter spoiler territory. Little yellow dude's telling you there's a save point off to the right.
Yeah, but is it in the next room to the right? Oh, so you say the red things are safe. I will believe you.
The pink things.
Those are that was pink.
you have to be very careful about your colors in this game.
Let me qualify that. They're safe if you leave them alone. So a lot of this game is basically a jumping puzzle, trying to figure out how to get up.
I die because I missed that jump.
In fact, I would say
things leave me alone.
I would say that is the core challenge of this game is the jumping puzzle on each screen.
I'd agree. Guess I should follow this guy and do what he says.
Well, he is there to help.
He knows I should probably survive another day.
So everybody in the Twitch chat, start placing bets. Will Master make it past the first area tonight?
I mean, I'm not
How do you define area?
really trying to
I guess that's true. How do you
get anywhere in this game. I'm just trying to play it. Like, I'm just going back to the save area I was at before. At this point, not going anywhere new.
Like, are we defining area as getting past that first gate?
Oh, it's red. I wonder what that means.
I guess this was most definitely the first area. What you would define as the second area is debatable.
Guys, talk to Mama. What you doing? I'll come back. Yeah.
Like, maybe he reached the second area when he went to the second screen.
If I know how to get to another area and I just decide not to go there, does that count?
Well, when you got to the place where you could get to a new area, you were unable to pass it, so I'm going to say no. Now, if you get there and you have the choice, and you choose not to, then sure, we'll go with that.
I see.
Oh gosh, you're at bottom karma.
Oh, don't tell me what that means. Now I know it's not days, I know that's karma.
Well, you've noticed that every time you die, it's gone down, right?
Yeah.
So do you go backwards in time?
I mean, maybe. I don't know this game,
I don't
right?
know the
Why do I just not have a map now? This guy
Like,
sucks
why?
at memory. Is he sleepy? Is that why?
No, he's thinking he's remembering.
Like, when you die, why do you come back? Maybe you are.
These are important questions. Do you think I should keep going left or should I go somewhere else?
That goes
Is
into
left the only way to go?
the lore spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Like, should I keep going up there? That's kind of far. Or is there a better place to go?
Do you want a hint?
I mean, I'm not saying the way to progress. I'm just saying where you recommend I go for the stream.
Oh, well,
Because
I
I've
mean,
already been that way several times.
how about you ask Cauldroth, because I'm going to tell you how to progress if you ask me that question.
Cauldroth?
Well, just do the Metroidvania thing and look at your map, and then go to the places you haven't been.
Yeah, but it's hard to tell where I haven't been.
The places that are like not filled in.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep going left then.
It does take a long while to get used to this map.
Think he can reach me?
All right, so how do you feel right now, Master? Do you feel that unfair is acceptable in this game so far?
Yeah, I'd say so. Because you don't know how the mechanics work until you experience them. The mechanics usually involve instantly dying. But I wouldn't say that it's unfair in like a negative way. Because I'm assuming that the loop of the game is balanced around dying before you know what's going on.
Right. Yeah, one the nice thing about this game is that you can die as many times as you want, or you can die forever and still continue the game. There isn't permadeath in this game, I guess.
Yeah, I guess the combination of like large penalties for dying with unfair difficulty makes it worse. Like one of the reasons I want to be the guy who worked so well was because every time you die, you just hit R and it would instantly put you back at the last save point, which was usually like, on the same screen.
Oh my god.
It looks like there's a save point to the lower area there.
Just want to look at my map without getting assaulted. You said there's a save. Yeah, there's a save point down there. Isn't that where the worm things I tried to feed were?
I don't know. I'll go back down there. I don't think so. I think the worms are off to the left.
Okay.
So Denzo asked if I had actually completed this game, and the answer is yes. I did beat it. It was.
Have you played any of the mods?
It probably caused heart issues, but I did get through it. And no, I have not played the mods.
The question is though, did you look up what to do or did you play it blind?
I did have a little help.
Okay. Alright, so there's a save point down there. Is that off to the... I guess that's off to the left.
But regardless...
So I was really close that first time before the game decided that my input was wrong.
Regardless of how much help you have, it's never going to be enough. Also, there were a lot of things I did not know about until after I beat the game and looked it up.
He's grabbed onto me.
I think you need to jump past it.
Yeah, I was just doing what you told me to do.
I never actually tried to slowly go past it like that.
You told me to just go horizontally past it on the thing.
So what I do is see how there's two poles? I get on the right pole
you climb
and
up on that one and then you jump across?
Yeah, I jump across. I don't slowly go across, yeah. I've never actually moved past them that slowly before, so you taught me something new today.
Wow, I'm so happy I had the opportunity to.
There's a few ways to escape it, but I don't know if he had any options there. And Silverant might know better than I do. I think Silverant's probably a lot better at this game than I got.
I imagine a lot of people just play this
That's
game
true.
once and then they're like, never again.
I was never good at Spearfu in this game. Like, I've watched some of the... So, I got really addicted to this one guy, his YouTube channel has Turtle in the name. I can't remember what the name of the channel is, but Turtle something. You know what? I'm not playing. I should just look it up. Anyway, I got really addicted to his videos because it's actually really entertaining to watch pros at this game because the way they move from a technical standpoint is so impressive. Turtle Toad is his name. I got really addicted to his videos after I beat the game. And learned a lot of things that would have been really helpful to know on my first playthrough.
Imagine that's how this game goes.
Turtle Toad is awesome. If you beat Rain World and want something to really be entertaining, Turtle Toad's great.
Alright.
He is nuts. Some of the things he's done too, which I can't talk about because I don't want to spoil things, but really funny, some of the things that he does.
Oh, I was hoping I could grab a bat there.
Like, he grabbed every creature in the game and drug it halfway across the world to see what would happen. Like,
When he like built his own Noah's Ark.
yeah, in some situations, I'm just like, how many hours did he put into this? This guy deserves subscribers. That's all I gotta say. There are few YouTubers that dedicate themselves that much to a single game. And then, of course, he plays mods and stuff, too. Okay, this is the boss room right here. The lizard wasn't even near you. Why are you running away?
I didn't want the thing to come out of the pipe and spawn kill me. I don't know what that thing does.
To be honest, I'm not exactly sure I know either.
Freaking green lizard spawn campers.
What's really awesome is when you get the lizards that get caught by the tentacle vines.
Oh, the climbing ones?
Yeah.
Climbing lizards.
I don't even know if he can get into the pipe. He's kind of a
Yeah, but if I leave the pipe, he's gonna eat me.
rain world except everything explodes. Oh gosh.
Look, he's right in front of me.
Oh, these lizards.
See, look, he is going through the pipe. It flashed green. Or is that only if they're in front of it? What is this guy doing? Trying to go in butt
Trying to
first.
get you.
Alright, you're good, you're good.
A good thing these pipes are just, they have infinite space inside them or something.
I think it's kind of like Morph Ball, where you just turn into energy.
There you go.
while you're in the pipe.
That's what I did. I think the save point
Oh my
is
God.
down. To the right, to
Leave
the
me
right.
alone.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you're so close too.
You made it, you made it. Nice.
What other topics did we have?
Survival elements in games was the other one we had for this week. And if anybody has any questions, we can also cover any topics that the Twitch stream wants to cover as well.
Cryptic.
One of Turtle Toad's videos is called "Congratulations, You Died." There's some really hilarious. I was really surprised when I found that Environmental Station Alpha was made by Click Team, because that was like the bad game maker when I was growing up.
Let's see what this thing actually did. Maybe it just runs away from me. And also, that blue thing scares me. But I think... Is that like a yellow dude, but he's blue?
I wasn't paying attention. I was reading the chat log. So you're on your own, Master.
Okay. I don't know much about Click Team. What is it exactly?
So it started out as a program called Click and Play back in the 90s, and a lot of people like made really terrible games and put them on the internet back then. Did you just eat your tutorial guy?
No, I ate a blue thing and I unlocked something.
Yeah, okay. Those are like your collectibles. Sorry, I'm like reading the chat at the same time, and
How many
so
dots do you think eating the tutorial guy would fill up?
I don't know if he actually gives you food. I know you can kill him.
Based on this game's color coding, it'd give me karma. I wonder what that means. Oh. Wait, that was just... They were both inside of that little hole.
Yeah, no, I'm just checking it out. You crashed their party.
I'm so sorry.
So apparently Hempeley streams every Thursday and Saturday night, according to Denzo. That sounds like something you'd be interested in tuning into, Master.
Yes, I've counted a few of his streams. I don't generally watch people stream that often though.
By the way, my wife wanted me to mention that she thinks it's hilarious whenever I address you, Master, when we're doing these streams.
Uh,
Like she sits in the other room and just laughs.
there's a lizard tail up there. I wonder what it's doing.
Falling, I guess.
You're gonna jump past an. Oh, jeez.
You just have to stare at them and they'll go away. Oh, is that another sandbox item? Wow,
You just got a blue dot.
I think it's fruit.
You might be right. Are you trying to communicate with the bug?
Yeah, it's working.
You got all kinds of sandbox items going this direction.
Yeah, I'm the only one on this stream whose name isn't a title.
Hey, at least mine has a proper name afterwards. You could just call me Hugh.
It's a shame that I can't get through here. So is that bug dead? The heck? It's clipping through the wall.
So as far as which direction from the first area you should go, this is where I would recommend going.
Okay. I don't have the list of karma symbols, so I don't know if I need to go up or down or what.
You never have to go down. Like if
Okay.
if you are high enough, you will get through. So basically, what this says is you need to hunt and sleep until you get your karma up.
And whenever you die or sleep, it shows you like the karma levels, so you can see what the symbols are.
That's interesting. So apparently, Hempley plays Picross and other games, puzzle games, on his streams.
Sounds fun.
Yeah. Hey, more to the point, you can chat with him about ESA 2.
That's true. So, there's a lot of stuff around here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now.
I don't like this. Like, I can't really climb up.
I think basically what that lizard down there is telling you is just don't touch the water.
Yeah, how do I do that?
Don't forget you could do your little cat jump by holding down and jump to do your leap, so you could get to that second bar pretty easily.
See if the lizard. Oh, hope that doesn't kill me. Is that lizard drowning?
No, he's just living his
Something's
best
making
life.
weird motor-like noises.
Maybe it's the lizard.
Motorboating.
I think that that lizard is trying to eat those noodle flies.
Makes sense.
You think that the drainage is worse? Drainage is where I went when I went through the game. I personally think it's easier than the alternative. I've been to both.
Oh, so are there optional areas in this game?
That's a big question.
I don't know what winning means.
Right, exactly. You'd have to go into what the goal is in order to talk about which direction you want to go.
Just head back to my save point.
No, I went through the drains on my first, on my only playthrough. On my playthrough, I went through the drains. So you've played this more than once, Denzo? Or gone through it more than once?
This game has a goal.
Spoilers, this game has a goal. Yes. Oh no. Oh no, what have you done?
You got a roommate.
He was delicious.
Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh boy.
Did I just piss off an entire species because he was in my save room?
Oh gosh, whoops.
Can enemies come in here? So if I wanted, I could go all the way back there and get through that door.
So you basically have two options now. Yeah, you found two options.
Or I could wait and I guess this is the next karma level and go through there.
It's the same karma
But-
level for both. I think.
But they're different
No, they're
symbols.
ones.
Oh, is it different symbols? Okay, so
Yeah.
you can go all the way back if you wanted to go to that one.
That seems like I would die on the way though. And this is only like 5 rooms away. This is doable. I don't know about going all the way back, but maybe I should. It's not that far.
Oh gosh.
Are those going to kill me now?
So did you?
It can't kill you if you eat all of them.
So to answer your question, can they come in there with you? The answer is yes.
Yeah, I noticed that.
However, the door seals off pretty quickly if you go in there first. Oh gosh, that's hilarious. The vine just got the noodle fly.
If I'm like in this, if I'm sitting here, can I get attacked?
Yes. So you want to
Okay.
move
I
back
just want
as
to
soon
bounce
as
as fast as possible.
right.
Hopefully I have enough time to get to the other place. I've wasted so much time sitting here.
Well, I mean, oh, you want to go to the other place? Okay, well that'll be interesting. Is that what you're going to count as a win today? Is actually making it to the other area?
I mean, no. There is no, I know no definition of winning. Oh my god, so I'm just playing the game. Maybe if I do get there, we can switch to the randomizer.
That's
Why
up
is
to
this
you.
guy just sitting there?
That's up to you. I think that the viewers are very much enjoying watching you play.
Okay. Well, what do the viewers think? Should we switch to the randomizer, or should I keep playing this game? If I go up, will that lizard kill me?
Probably.
This is such fun and engaging gameplay. He appears to be permanently stuck there, so I guess I'm not allowed to go to the other area.
You could,
I mean,
like,
you could always go
go
rest
for
and then try again. There you go. You
Oh,
got him to come
oh,
after
there you
you,
go.
so you're good. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of work. I would pay attention to where another save point is. Are you gonna eat that thing again? Okay.
Well, according to you, if I eat it, I make everybody mad, so
there's
they're
no
already
limit.
mad at me. What's the
There's a
harm in
limit to how angry they can get.
eating another?
It's the weirdest thing. I actually did not run into those at all in my playthrough. So when I saw them, I'm like, how come they're showing up for you?
Weird. Hopefully they don't just show up here.
I actually didn't know about those until Turtle Toe made a funny video about pestering them.
This guy's busy eating something else. Is he gonna also try to eat me? This lizard is.
Trust me, if a slug cat comes near their mouth, they will happily chomp down on it.
Slug
Okay.
cats are delicious.
Slug cats are the tastiest.
Pretty close to a save point, aren't I?
So was the vote on the chat? Nobody's mentioned. So do you want to spend the entire night on Rain World tonight, or did you want to do the Metroid X?
I mean, I do
Link
like
to the
doing the
past.
randomizer every stream. If I go into a new area, will there be a save point like right there? Or should I
Depends
save before going in?
depends on the area.
Well, if my goal is just getting to the area, then I'm gonna just go for it.
I think. I mean, you've seen two area things, so I think that there's a good chance that you'll make it. Although from a anybody who is watching this stream that has not played Rain World yet and does not want to have more spoilers, it might not be a bad thing to quit at that point. So the other topic we had for tonight was survival mechanics in games, and that was Master's recommendation. There's a save point right there if you wanted to prevent yourself from having to walk.
It's mine though.
Master's the one who suggested that topic. Did you want to kind of elaborate on what you meant by that?
I didn't really mean anything. It was a suggestion of a topic.
You didn't have anything in mind?
Not really. I mean, there are different things we could talk about. Like, hunger bars, I think, is a great specific topic. When is a hunger bar a good gameplay element, and when is it bad?
So I guess I'll kind of subvert the question and bring up Fallout New Vegas, where it was just kind of there. Like they made such a big deal about it, the survival mode in Fallout New Vegas. Like, you want survival mode on or off? And then you turn it on, and it's just like, okay, so I sometimes get hungry, and that's it. My pack now has 45 different types of food and water in it, and I am never in any danger of actually getting hungry.
The thing with Fallout is that it's one of those games where you just collect dozens upon dozens of stacks of food that just sit in your inventory. And you pause the game and you just, like it's the Skyrim thing where you eat 6 wheels of cheese to heal.
Right.
So it doesn't sound that interesting.
So that does make it a problem. So Ekipon in the chat says that you can use the map while you're dead or while you're sleeping. So you don't have to waste time looking at the map after you wake up.
I don't like that.
So that's actually something I didn't know when I was playing. I always just wasted precious time.
My time's not that precious.
One of the things about the food in Fallout, though, is that a lot of it's irradiated. So you actually have to kind of weigh the pros and cons of eating the...
Sure, that's assuming you don't also have 30, rad cures in your inventory, too.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was just not playing on a high enough difficulty. Maybe I should try playing Fallout New Vegas on the hardest difficulty. But it never really seemed to matter.
It is one of those games that seems like kind of like a lot of Metroidvanias have, where it's like got an inverse difficulty curve where it starts out harder than it winds up towards the end. Yeah, I think that's kind of a power fantasy type thing that they want you to really feel that you're getting stronger.
Yeah, that Bethesda engine kind of struggles with that in general because they have the whole level scaling thing going on, trying to keep it interesting the entire game, but they've always had a difficulty balancing that. Interestingly enough, was it Chris Avalon, I think is his name, the big guy behind Fallout. So you're in a new area. You gotta be here for at least 20 more minutes though, Master, before we switch.
Or I could just go to my next save point.
Are you even fed? Can you actually save?
No. But there's a bat right over there. I just gotta hit it with my spear. Or just grab it. Oh.
But yeah, for survival mechanics, I think in a lot of games that just feels like extra work that you have to do. So when the game isn't designed around being a survival game, then I don't think that the survival mechanics really add that much. One thing that some games have done recently, though, is instead of having a hunger meter where when you get low, negative things happen, there's a well-fed type status buff where if you eat, then
reversing the.
Yeah, so mechanically, it's pretty much the exact same thing. It's just recontextualized as being a positive when you eat instead of being a negative when you don't eat.
Hmm. Oh, I don't trust this room. I'm leaving.
So much fear. Don't give in to the fear. Although you probably should save on this side of the wall if you want to stay on this side of the wall.
That's
I like
what
how
I'm
you
doing.
threw a rock at the hole. That is such a Rain World thing to do.
Well, I was just actually picking up this spear because spears
Oh,
are
okay.
useful.
I thought you were
holding a
just
rock.
I thought you were just testing to make sure there wasn't anything inside the save point.
It'd be awesome if this game had a hole mimic. Does it? Actually, don't answer that.
About an unfair mechanic.
So
Oh
some-
yeah, like
Wow.
yeah, there was a certain game that had a save point mimic. That just like
You got
straight
to
up-
go keep going for at least 15 more minutes, Master. Then we'll do an hour of the randomizer.
Okay. I just don't want to lose my precious karma for the next time I play this game.
Oh, I'm wondering if I played the game that you were talking about, Caldroth. I know that there's a Dark Souls mod that has a bonfire mimic.
Probably not that uncommon.
See, I know what you're talking about because other people have also been quick to say, "Ha! Did you know that as a bonfire mimic?" And then just immediately, I'm like, "Oh, thanks for telling me."
Yeah, and then Ekapan's just like, oh yeah, this specific game has
Well, see, but the game,
trying to be fake.
the game mentioned though, like I would be disappointed if it didn't have a save point mimic. To be honest,
Yeah.
that seems really obvious for that game. I should probably play I Want to Be the Guy. Maybe I should do that in one of my streams.
Yeah, I think that would be a great stream game.
However, I've got too many other Metroidvanias I want to show off before when it's my turn to pick the game. I need to show Mortal Manor. That's what I'm going to be showing next when it's my pick, because I keep bringing it up and I'm like, nobody knows what this game is. And I'm like,
Yeah, I
well,
feel like you're the only one that's actually playing Metroidvanias on the stream.
This is a Metroidvania, right? Arkham Asylum was a Metroidvania, right?
I think we decided it wasn't.
Demon's Crest was a Metroidvania.
Nope.
No, it's a crest-like, according to Caldroth.
Yeah.
To be honest, I actually thought so. Okay, the Gargoyles quest reminded me of Zelda 2,
Yeah.
and Demon's Crest is actually a lot like Zelda 2 as well. So technically, if you're going by origin, then it should be a Zelda 2 like. Although I guess Zelda 2 has Zelda like dungeons, whereas Demon's Crest doesn't really have that per se. Like one feature that Zelda 2 did not have was going back to old levels for any reason.
Yeah, I think that's like the defining thing of a crest-like is that it has backtracking into the levels.
So we were talking about it a little bit earlier, how this game seems to be often accepted as a Metroidvania.
It's
Right.
often talked about it's often talked about when people talk about Metroidvanias, I guess, but I'm not sure how many people actually claim that it is one. Is that a Hollow Knight? The heck? That symbol.
That's a picture of you.
Okay.
There's a picture of a
Why,
slug cat.
well, why is it telling me that I'm down there?
I have no idea.
This isn't Soma or something.
Like I said, I went the other direction when I played through, so I have no idea what it's like to go this way for the first time. I mean, I've been here on my playthrough. I just didn't go here first.
Oh, very pretty.
Yeah, it's Bug Haven. This place is perfectly safe. You should stay here for a while.
I will do that.
It sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, this is about as far as I played. Like, I also went to this area first.
By the way, the rain can still kill you here.
Yeah, I figured. Oh my god.
It's so safe here, though.
Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe. So it's pointing up there again. Also, I see an orange thing, and that confuses me.
I don't remember those orange things.
Right, so it wants me to come up here for some reason. It wants me to go back down there, but I'm not doing it. Not listening to Yellow Boy.
I do what I want.
This area actually doesn't seem too bad, so maybe this is the better area to go to from as a starter.
This area does seem very chill.
So far, yeah.
Things
I
really
think it's more
happen.
chill than the first area.
Also, I just rolled. Don't
Yep.
know how I did that.
Yep, if you get good at that, then you can make that. You do that to go fast.
Seems like I have to hold down. Or maybe I switch stances when I hit the ground or something.
Oh yes, we've had several rains. at least 2 times you died to the rain while playing the
Yeah,
night.
well, one of them I didn't really try to escape the rain. I thought it was relaxing.
I think you're about halfway there now, so we might do it again.
Well, I'd like to find a save point.
But yeah, about this with respect to its Metroidvania-ness, I think it is worth talking about because of the interconnected map, and it does have some sort of gating, even though it's not ability gating. Like, there's lessons to be learned here.
So the biggest question I have, when talking about whether I'm going to cover a game or not,
Okay,
check this guy out. He can fly.
please don't.
Is he
And now you're
flying
dead.
or is
He
he
just-
crawling on the back?
Oh, you survived that. I'm surprised. So one of the things I have to keep in mind
What was
is,
that?
would a Metroidvania fan like the game? Not love, but would they like it? Being a Metroidvania fan, like Zelda games, I think there's a good crossover there. You know, there's a good argument. It looks like there's a cliff blocking you trying to go up that direction.
Thing is doing weird stuff, and I don't like it.
Oh, this is hilarious. This is why we had to have you play for another 15 minutes.
There's a cloaked enemy over there. I just want to get to my save point. The yellow guy isn't pointing me that direction anymore. Can I feed him?
So, but then the question is who is this game for if not for the Metroidvania group? And honestly, this game is so unique that I don't think it really belongs. It's hard to know who to recommend it to, regardless.
Well, there's people that like survival-based games. I could see people that like roguelikes might like this game.
Master is doing incredibly well. And I think there's a little bit of Metroidvania appeal here. The interconnected map, definitely. There's definitely some problem solving that's very Metroidvania-like, even though there's no ability upgrades. You have to think about... You learn what an item does, and you have to think about how that can apply to getting you towards your goal.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that's similar to an ability upgrade, even though it's not permanent.
That sounds like it's more like, well, I haven't played it, but from what I've heard, The Witness, Tokitori,
All right,
where...
Master says he's basically done, so I guess we'll move over to the...
Hey, I gave it another 15 minutes or whatever.
Well, you technically had 5 more, but that's fine. We'll switch over.
I'm going to take a quick break while you guys are switching.
All right. Let's see. Unfortunately, I didn't think ahead that I should have this already open.
You didn't think I'd actually survive?
No, that's not what I was thinking. No, I should have had this already opened, is what I was saying.
Well, don't worry. We can look at this beautiful main menu. I do wish it wasn't as blurry or swaying as much, though. It seems a little bit extra.
Alright, it should be showing the game now. Are you able to see it on the Twitch stream? Yeah, okay, it should be working.
Pull it up.
Alright, cool. Yeah, this is where we left off. I forgot about this. And now we get to see the pain of me trying to be Phantom with only 100, 150 energy, something. Now I have to get good at playing this game again. Luckily we have the screw attack, which you normally don't have during this fight, so at least we have that advantage going for us. Oops. Still not doing very well right now. Probably not going to make it this attack.
Oh, you didn't bug out right at the end last time where like your screw attack wasn't making you invincible anymore?
No, that wasn't the problem. It was that I was failing at doing it. We're using save states because we don't want to have to go through this whole thing again. I hope we're okay.
Yeah,
with
I was
that.
getting ready to throw the stick at his face, and he just stole it. So I jumped past him. I'm glad you clipped that.
You got him what?
But I did end up stealing the stick back from him. But that's actually a great clip.
Oh, nice. Oh, are you still playing Rain World?
No, I was just
Okay, I was confused. For a
someone
second there.
clipped the stream earlier.
Oh, nice. Sweet. So this is going to be, how long does it take me to beat Phantom with this much HP?
You could be shooting the things when they're like just bouncing around, getting some health back that way.
Do these things... Okay, for some reason they weren't... Okay, they don't die to the screw attack, which I guess that makes sense because... Ugh.
Because why would they put that in? I like how
Right.
you're just using super missiles on these things.
It's so hard to switch weapons in this game that it's really hard not to.
So many super missiles, like
Yeah.
unless you farm these for a long amount of time, you're fine.
Okay.
I don't think Fontoon takes that many missiles. I want to
No.
switch soon though.
No. Okay, let's go ahead and load the save state here. Alright, so here's the plan. I'm going to use regular missiles until he changes and then see if I can switch it quickly. I should map my L2 button to the select button. I think that would help a lot.
Isn't there a button for just like unselect missiles?
Yeah, there is, and I didn't do it fast enough. This is the thing that people complain about the most about this game is the weapon switching. Well, besides the jumping and all the other controls. Okay, so we can get a couple of good hits off there.
Oh, you've gotten much life. Congratulations.
Oh gosh. Okay. No, come on. There we go. There, and this is the part where I just need to jump. I actually don't know how you're supposed to dodge this without the screw attack. I don't know if you're just supposed to tank the hits or if there's
I think
another
you can
technique.
Like you run to one side and then you can jump over them.
Oh gosh.
follows a weird trajectory, so you're able to jump over it. Let's give Q silence.
So if you run to the opposite side, I guess if you jump high enough, you can get past it. I'm like watching the pattern, trying to see if I can tell.
You have to like jump before he shoots, I think, on the one side.
Okay.
It is hard to tell because it's a weird pattern.
Okay, now I can go straight to super missiles when I push the button. He's not dead yet. What the?
I wouldn't worry about it though.
He's got to be only like one hit left.
You're only one hit left.
Notice that you're on power bombs.
Yes, I see.
Yeah.
that. Thanks for the. I was actually checking that as I was jumping to make sure I wasn't. Do I have charge shot yet? No, I don't. Okay, that'll help. Come on.
Please switch to super missiles.
He's not dead! Okay, I was gonna say. Let me move my window over so I can actually read the chat. Alright, we'll see you later, Denzo.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get to say bye. He probably is already gone now.
Goodbye.
Good night.
Alright, we made it. I'm gonna save state now because I like cheating. Also, I don't want to do it again.
See, you save state once. This is what happened.
Yeah, I know.
Just one more
You gotta
save
get that
state.
next hit.
Just one more, just one more. Let me allow that real quick. Surprised that that word's auto-modded.
So, do you think that this game would be worth remaking with, like Metroid Zero mission controls?
I mean, I'm not sure because there's two good arguments. One is that it's a classic and that it must be preserved, and the other is that some things are just awful and they should be fixed.
I'm
Well,
in
even if they make a remake, the original will still exist.
Does the map actually work in the
Right, but
randomizer? I guess not.
if they make a remake, I mean, they could spend that time doing something else.
Yeah.
Also, it'd probably be in an ugly 3D graphic style.
So Ekapon was saying that he doesn't do the wave attack if you don't use super missiles on him, which is interesting. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. There are a lot of things I would change about this game, for sure. So I don't know. It just depends on how they do the remake. If all they do is take this game and just change some of the things that are not good about it, and I actually got an E-tank from this, what's normally there?
Probably a missile.
Something like that, maybe.
Right.
Like if they took this exact game and just changed the controls a little bit, made some things a little less wonky, maybe add some options. Not necessarily, like some people don't like the way that Samus jumps. I think it's fine. I wouldn't change it, but maybe add an option for that. That's good. I don't think I would want them to give it the Samus Returns treatment.
Yeah, I think Master brings up a good point that if they did remake this game, it would probably give it the Samus Returns treatment.
Right, and I don't think I would like that.
Imagine just talking about playing Super Metroid, and then someone goes, "Oh yeah, that new game that I bought, it was really ugly in 3D." And you have to explain, no, the original, classic Super Metroid. Like, oh, ew, that game.
Yeah, I very much think that Nintendo shouldn't remake the game, but
Like a
it
mod
might not be
might.
terrible if like a fan remake happened.
I'm sure there already is a mod that probably fixes a lot of the complaints. Hey, what do you
I've
got?
played a few mods that do little things. Like one of them lets you reinitiate your spin by tapping the jump button in the air. But it
This sounds
doesn't
like
do anything major
it sounds like AM2R.
besides that.
AM2R, the spin jump was basically like a, or the space jump was basically a double jump. The way it worked. Yeah, I think that holding down the button to fire missiles is probably the best way to shift between them. Or possibly mapping the missiles to an entirely different button and just having you push it to shoot missiles. Although that kind of removes the coolness of Samus transforming her gun, if you care about that.
This will sound weird, but bear with me. Wasn't there a Symphony of the Night mobile port? And wasn't it good?
Yeah, and it was like on sale for like 99 cents last week or something.
Right. So a mobile port would probably, like, with enhanced controls, because you kind of have to do that to make touch controls, that'd probably be the best thing for this game if they were going to port it or remake it.
Maybe.
Like if you could just tap on the like missiles to switch to them, that would probably be better.
It should just be on PC and you push 1 through 4 to select your weapons instead of this nonsense plebe console thing.
You don't want to do the radial menu.
You know what? A radial menu might not be bad if it pauses the game. It breaks the flow, but at least I don't have to fumble with it during a boss fight.
Can't you just like, you just are like, okay, I need to do power bomb, so you hit the button 3 times. It's just like you count.
That might be...
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really much different than, you know, having to hit it 3 times to cycle one behind what you're on.
So you have the option of the radial menu or doing it exactly the way it is right now. I think that would be fine. Also, any modern system that has Super Metroid on it, you could have the R2 and L2 buttons that this game didn't originally have. And if you wanted to, you can make it so all the shoulder buttons map to one of the bombs and you just press whatever one you want. I don't know if that would be a good idea. Probably not, but it's an option.
You could have the right stick for aiming.
And that's what Samus Returns did. I like that aspect of Samus Returns. It's probably the best part about what they changed. And to be honest, the atmosphere in this game isn't so... Like, Samus Returns, one of the biggest complaints, and one that I agree with, is... Oh, there's a super missile spot there. Is that it ruins the atmosphere of the original. But I don't think that Super Metroid's atmosphere is so hard to duplicate. 300 rupees! Oh, yay! I'm so glad we came all the way over here, and now we get
It's a lot of
fall out.
rupees.
It is a lot of rupees, but not enough that I'm going to go through the trouble. Oops. Apparently I have R2 mapped to the speed up button. I don't know if I want that.
But you could also say that AM2R also ruined the atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's different. And my argument for both games is that different isn't necessarily bad. It's just not the same.
There are 3 very different Metroid 2 experiences that you can choose from.
The
Right.
thing is, at least in my experience, a lot of people who like Metroid enjoy the atmosphere of, say, Super Metroid.
Right.
And atmosphere is important to many Metroid fans.
But I think if
Thus-
they did a Samus Returns type remake of Super Metroid, I don't think it would be as out of place as the Samus Returns or Metroid 2 remake, you know?
Right, because I guess a lot of the atmosphere of Metroid 2 just comes from the device it was designed for.
Correct. Like it was zoomed in and
Super
claustrophobic
Metroid.
and that was what,
Super Metroid has very intentional atmosphere, it seems. So you'd think if someone was remaking it, they wouldn't just completely ignore that.
right. And that was the problem with the AM2R had with remaking Metroid 2, is that by making it like Super Metroid, you lose the claustrophobic feeling that the original had. And I think that's kind of impossible to avoid.
Right, if you're making a modern version of a game, but you're not including the janky parts of the game. I mean, if you do include all of the limitations that the game had on its original device, then are you really making a remake?
And we're all bringing this up
You
because Demon Souls just had a remake, and people are divided on how they feel about it. They kind of got Metroid 2'd. They lost a lot of the atmosphere and their really clean look that they gave the game.
I think that so tightening up the mechanics and stuff like that, and like making you more mobile, does make it feel less claustrophobic. But there's other ways that you can make a game feel claustrophobic, and I think that they could have added more of those elements to try to compensate.
Now,
how do you make? Go on.
I'm going to argue that AM2R does that, but not everybody agrees with me on that. Like, I guess the Metroid Prime style music that they had to the game was too much for some people, for it to even become close to the original's atmosphere. But in concept, what that does for the game is it makes it kind of a horror game, the original Metroid 2. And I think that... oh, it's the hammer. Nice. I think the AM2R did a lot of things to try and get that horror feeling to it. Whereas Samus Returns didn't really even make the attempt. In fact, Samus Returns kind of takes it a different direction and makes it more about Samus, which is kind of the direction that the series went with Metroid Zero Mission. And I think that's fine. It's a fine interpretation. It just doesn't have that horror atmosphere. And I think AM2R sort of captures that in a different way. It's not going to have the exact same feel, but I felt that they did a pretty good job compensating for it, in my opinion.
Like, Metroid Fusion was probably the most, like, horror-focused one, but it also was also one of the most, like, focused on Samus as a character.
Right.
So it's possible to have both.
True.
They had to make it way more linear than on any of the other games to pull that off, though. So, like everything, there's trade-offs.
I think they definitely could have structured it closer to Super Metroid and still kept in a lot of the horror elements.
Yeah, I agree
because
with that.
Super Metroid is scripted in its own way.
Right. Honestly, I don't think there's any good argument for the linearity of Metroid Fusion other than that's just the way they wanted to do it.
I mean, I think it's because they had a lot of cutscenes and stuff, and they wanted to keep in the cutscenes. Or maybe they just designed the cutscenes around the linear game, I don't know. But, if you just miss one dialogue trigger by going a different direction and you hit something else, then the story may no longer make sense.
It's also possible they designed it around perceived hardware intention, or hardware limitations is the word I'm looking for. And so they're like, well, we can't do this on a handheld unless or it's going to break if we try and do it huge like Super Metroid. Maybe, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know the reason why they decided to go linear with it.
Wasn't the Game Boy Advance more powerful than the Super Nintendo?
I'm not sure on that one. Also, you also had several Castlevania games, so that's probably not necessarily what they did. How early did Metroid Fusion come along in the Game Boy Advance's lifespan?
Couldn't tell you.
We almost had
it. Zero Mission does have a little bit of hand-holding. What's with the orcs? There are definitely some sound limitations on the. Or there's definitely some limitations on the Game Boy Advance that were not present in the Super Nintendo. Like, for instance, the sound in some of the ports that they made from the Super Nintendo were worse than the Super Nintendo.
Does that mean that the sound's actually worse, or that they just did a bad job porting it, though?
I know, that's a good question. All I know is that Final Fantasy VI is worse. Oh, gosh. Alright, well, we got the hammer now, so we got some places we can go in Zelda, so I think mission accomplished in this area. I'm gonna go try and go out the opposite side of the wrecked ship, though. See if I can. I think the hammer opens up a lot of places, I think. I could be completely wrong.
Like the bottom half of the map in the Dark World?
Something like that. It's a key gate, the hammer.
You can
Oh,
use
my
it
favorite.
as a weapon.
What are you gonna say?
Something is... Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead. I was asking what you're saying.
Oh, if a key gate is... If a key's not tangible, is it still a key? Like, is karma a key in rMetroidvania?
Or is it a switch? Like every time you sleep, it like flips a switch and you have to flip enough switches to get...
Karma's kind of a skill gate, honestly. Okay, so I can't go that way because I don't have the suit. Okay. And I can't get that one because I don't have the speed boots. So I think we're done in Super Metroid for now.
So what would you define a skill gate to be?
So I don't really define the gates. Like, I don't have any personal reason for doing that. Like, what would I call Rain World's gating? Like, that gating? If I were to call it anything, I think that would be skill gating, in the sense that you just need to be good enough not to die enough to get through.
Well, I don't think it would be a skill gate because you can't just like immediately get through it no matter how good you are. You have to like do a bunch of stuff.
Right. A grinding gate, I guess, then?
Yeah, I guess.
I guess that's true. It probably fits more into that, into a leveling up style of doing things.
Grinding... So... soft gates and hard gates for grinding. Castlevania games, like, I don't think there's ever a time when you're required to level up.
Right. But
But in a lot of games where there is leveling up, like MMOs, you'll have... I guess
Sure.
with RuneScape at least, that's where most of my experience with MMOs comes from, because I don't really play them. But you need to have like a stat requirement to start a quest, for example.
Salmes brings up the Winter Shrine in Dark Souls 2. Literally, you could get through it by grinding. And I
Yeah,
guess
that's no fun though.
some speedrunners do it that way. What they do is they go down to the gutter and then they use the bonfire aesthetic in the gulch and beat the rotten over and over again, and that's how they get the souls they need. Because it's faster.
Right, it's fast, but it's not
Right.
fun, I assume.
I guess that's a good point.
Do you think Dark Souls 2 would have been better if it didn't have that if it didn't have that option?
No, I think it's great that they have that option. So, it's funny how Dark Souls 3 makes me appreciate Dark Souls 2 more.
Yeah.
Like, people complain that the later Souls games stop being as Metroidvania as the original Dark Souls, but Dark Souls 2 is pretty close, at least as far as if you can count the options. I haven't finished 3 yet.
Dark Souls 2 is interesting because, I mean, I guess it's not that much different than in Dark Souls 1 for the beginning part, where you can say that the beginning is the most interconnected because you have multiple places you can go. Though, I mean, 2 isn't really interconnected. It has branching paths, I guess. But at at a lot of different times in the game, you go back to go down a different path. At least until you get past the Winter Shrine, and then it's just linear.
Let me pick up the Quake Medallion. Oh, well, you got a couple of gates that we can go through here.
I agree, Sawmaze. 3 is like big budget bosses, and it has, high quality music and stuff, but I don't like Dark Souls 3.
I need to finish it. I like the individual level design in Dark Souls 3. I like it more than Dark Souls 2. But it is annoying that you have to do that same level every single time you play. What's the best way to the Dark World? I know we can get there from here, but I think you're locked into the swamp from there. Oh, it's this one. We might go here.
Yeah, 3 is like... I mean, some of the individual areas are less linear than, individual areas in Dark Souls 1, I guess. But, like, the Undead Settlement, there's kind of several paths you can take through it, even though you eventually end up going through most of it.
Yeah, like Dark Souls 1 is non-linear in the way the world is constructed, whereas all of them are non-linear in the way the individual levels are constructed.
I like how all these trees...
Dark Souls 1, there's a lot of levels that aren't... I mean, like the Undead Burg is pretty linear. You're mostly just running down the same path with a couple of options that slightly change the path.
Okay, now that we have the hammer, I think we can go see the blacksmith. Oh, there's a thing over here. Let's check what this is. A heart. Hooray.
Wait, what did you hammer into the ground?
They're like these little...
What are those?
I don't know, they're just
Little
pegs.
posts.
Stupid chicken.
That's so weird.
Like, this is such a...
Looks kind of satisfying
obstacle,
though.
Like,
This is ludonarrative dissonance right here. Of course, this is the Dark World in a fantasy game, so I guess you can kind of excuse it. Anyway,
So what games? Go on.
we can't not bring up Dark Souls in a stream, I guess. That's the joke.
Yeah.
pick off your bingo cards.
I do not remember where this...
When people...
I do not remember where this goes.
So that chest just follows you? Oh my god. We're so bad at this.
What do I do with this chest again? There's like a thief somewhere that I'm supposed to
Yeah.
take it to.
I think he's like to the south.
I want to say he's in the light world. I don't think you can
I
jump off
like
of
how it
cliffs.
trails behind you. Looks like it's chasing you.
Is he really to the south?
So what?
Maybe. It's been a long time. Game.
When people talk about ludonarrative dissonance, what games do they usually bring up?
So there was an article like a couple of years ago about how Last of Us was bad because you can't make sugar bombs and things like that, and it's supposed to be a realistic game. Like, this was their opinion, but their opinion was bad, and I'm just kidding. But that was the crux of the article, and so ludonarrative dissonance is like one of the more common ones I've heard is Nathan Drake, how he's supposed to be the good guy, but he's like murdering everybody in the actual gameplay. Or how nobody talks about the sentient houses in Final Fantasy VII that you fight in Midgar. which is apparently like its own boss now in the remake.
Sentient houses.
Yeah. Okay, I think we come here and then we talk to this guy that lives in this area. I should probably look this up. Anyway, now that I know it's there. Yep, okay, we got power bombs. I was right. And it wasn't worth it. Go
I like
away.
how there's just no dialogue. Here's some power bombs.
Well, that's the art of the randomizer. Like I said, I used to be like the person that people would call on this game, so I should remember more instantly than I did, but alright. So I have the Quake Medallion, which gets us into one of the dungeons, I just don't remember which one.
And a turtle rock.
Is this a dungeon over here? Did we get the flippers? I think we got the flippers, right? Yeah, we did. Okay. Now maybe we can do this dungeon.
Yeah, this is the hookshot dungeon, so you got that already.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's go in here. We have the hook shot already, so I think we have everything we need to beat this dungeon now.
Nice.
So there's not really any reason not to do it.
So last weekend I started up, or I guess I should say I resumed my playthrough of Twilight Princess. I got to the Sky Temple.
Oh, let me change the
Sky
stream
plays.
category real quick. Thanks for the catch. So how's that going?
It's fun, but the game, there's some iffy parts where you just are required to go do some tedious things and progress. Especially because Hyrule Field is really slow on my emulator. So I bring this up because I want to ask, how do you feel about Twilight Princess?
I haven't played Twilight Princess, so unfortunately.
Oh.
I actually...
Wow.
That's my favorite
That-
Zelda act. Like, it's more of an action-oriented one than the rest of them. And I guess I just like that.
So it's
So I
like,
guess neither of you have played very far into it. So I can't really talk about things that happen late in the game.
We don't want to spoil anyone.
I've been spoiled on the ending already. Didn't I already do this? Did we go this entire time without pulling that switch? I thought that was like one of the first things we did. In fact, that treasure is taken, so I had to have done this. Weird. I wonder if it got reset because I went to Super Metroid.
Yeah, there's a piece of heart that you get.
Yeah, and the item wasn't there, so I'm pretty sure I did that earlier.
Somebody else has been pulling switches.
Apparently. Oops.
Link's actually running around doing his quest at the same time.
As Samus is trying to usurp his heroism.
Yeah.
Twilight Princess came out about that time when people were getting... Or it was the... I don't know, like, people criticized it for being too much like Ocarina of Time at the time it came out.
Yeah, I think that was kind of intentional.
Sure, right, obviously. It was a formula that worked and probably could have been explored more. So I don't really fault it for that. I started Skyward Sword because my wife wanted to see it, and I enjoyed the kind of narrative of the game, but that one's also a kind of a controversial one. Probably for being too narrative focused. Oh,
I just got too mad at the controls.
yeah, that was the other thing that people hated was, oh, it's motion controls, therefore it's bad.
Well, it
To
was
be
bad.
fair, stabbing is really annoying.
I haven't played it enough to really...
So what happened for me when I was playing it is that I want to swing the controller like a sword when I'm swinging a sword in the game. And if you try to swing it with like it's a long sword, then it registers the backswing as being a forward swing. So you wind up like attacking in the exact opposite direction
So
of how
there,
you're attacking.
so there's motion game dissonance.
Yes. It's kind of like when I play Beat Saber, I insist on swinging the controllers like they're swords, and then like I go online and everyone's like, "No, you need to use your wrists."
Right.
Screw
Well,
that.
the point of the mechanic is to make it feel more immersive, and if it doesn't match up to your expectations of what that would be like, then it's failed and it's in the way it does things.
Yeah.
Right. I imagine though, with Beat Saber, a lot of the custom songs people make are just ridiculously hard, but are the default ones that hard? I'm sure you could get away with swinging it like a sword.
So there's different difficulties, and then there's also a certain set of songs that way more difficult than any of the other ones. Like anything by Camilla is. So I can play pretty much every song in the game on Expert Plus at full speed, except for the Camilla songs, which I have a difficult time doing on hard, which is 2 difficulties down.
Yes.
From Expert Plus.
What do you guys think? North or east? Or, sorry, north or west?
And just do the one that you're closest to.
All right.
North by northwest.
We'll go north first. It may be a mistake, but we'll find out.
So do 2D or 3D Zeldas have better dungeon design?
So my favorite dungeon design in the series. Oh, Salome said west, and I didn't see. Well, we went the wrong way. The night is ruined. Might as well load my save state and start over. My favorite dungeon design in the series is Link's Awakening, which is the 2D. Come on. I hate these things. Okay. So I like how you can't push the statues in any other room except for this one.
It's just like there's certain statues you can push.
Yeah, well, it was like that in the original Zelda, and this is still pretty close to that from a timeline standpoint.
Some of the others are just nailed down.
But yeah, like, I think the main difference between the 3D Zeldas and the 2D Zeldas, besides just like whether they're 2D or 3D, is that they really started in on the like puzzle box dungeons in the 3D ones.
Yeah, and
Like this one, the one where you get the third pendant that has the like swappable blocks kind of has that element to it, but it's not nearly as extensive as some of the other ones, like the 3D ones, where it like rearranges the dungeon.
you know, I'm surprised that I actually have the red armor because I seem like I'm taking a lot of damage still. So Link's Awakening, I think, is the first one that I remember there being a puzzle box, and that's the level 8. That was a tricky puzzle that opens both those doors at once. But you say that 3D is when the puzzle box dungeons start, but they kind of dropped them in Wind Waker. Twilight Princesses, are those puzzle boxes?
Actually, now I'm trying to remember
Yes.
what the dungeons were like there.
So, like, Majora's Mask was, like, the true beginning of the puzzle boxes, I think, in the 3D realm. Ocarina, I can't think of... I mean, there's a little bit of crossing over with, like, Jabu Jabu's belly and getting rid of the weird slime columns.
I'm actually not entirely sure what you mean by puzzle box. Do you mean you're changing the dungeon as you go?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm actually referring to one of the newer Game Maker's Toolkit videos.
I saw that video. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I should probably watch it since it's relevant to the games I look at. But it's... Okay, so how I will define it without looking at the way Mark defines it... is it's a dungeon that you have to think of it every part of the dungeon as you're playing it. And if you've played Majora's Mask, the Spirit Temple is a great example of this because you have to kind of flip it upside down and right side up again and move things around to solve the dungeon as a whole rather than just, hey, look, we got the bow finally.
Nice. So it's meta logic.
It's macro logic or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water temple is a good example of it.
Mean the same thing in concept.
Yeah, the water temple is, I think, the prototypical version of it. Like, Alwa's Legacy had a dungeon very similar to that.
So there were a few parts, I guess, in Twilight Princess where you would change some of the dungeon, but I mean, not really. It was mostly the rooms are just self-contained, and then you solve the puzzle and you get a key, and you go through the one door that you can go through.
Yeah, that was the big criticism when he did his boss keys thing. His biggest criticism of Wind Waker was that it kind of switched to that single room puzzle thing. Yeah, Ekipon says the most important thing is that you change the state of the dungeon. You also cannot immediately see the consequences elsewhere when you cause the change. I think that's probably a good way of describing it. Okay.
Yeah. So apparently the the lead, I forget if it was like the producer or the designer or whatever. He was hired because he worked on like these robots that like would move around and like just do things. I guess they're kind of like animatronics, and so they hired him because he like knew how to make things move around and like designed around that. So I guess they kind of wanted dungeons that acted that way.
That's interesting that they would hire a robot designer to work on game design for that purpose.
It's interesting.
Kind of neat. I never thought of being an HR person for game design, but that's an interesting interesting type of person to hire. Personally, what I would do these days, I think if you were an HR person for game design, it'd be really easy these days. You just have to play a lot of games and then be like, okay, give Hempley a job at our AAA studio because he clearly has the talent.
Okay, literally like 5 seconds before you mentioned Hempley, I looked at my like Twitch list and I saw that he was live.
Oh gosh.
You aren't gonna leave us, are you?
Maybe. It's pretty tempting.
Well, we've got 20 minutes left.
I think
So.
I'll stick with that.
That's awesome. So you're subscribed to him already?
Yeah.
So,
Swear I'm not watching a stream, but I just opened it up and so he has Baba's you open and he has like different
which way's right?
He's showing off a tutorial and he has different lessons for level design. That'd be interesting. See if you could apply that to different games because
Oh my gosh, we're getting so
you know
much
Baba's
progress.
you is very logic focused, but
Very
you can apply that logic to other games.
I knew I was going to regret not hitting that switch before I came this way. Yeah, we can go so many places now. Now we can get, what was on top of the shelf?
the Varia armor.
Okay, so now we can go to Norfair and stuff. So one of my criticisms of this game, and I think I mentioned it before that this is not my favorite Zelda game, is that there's a lot of blind decision making, like that room that I was just in where I had to decide which hole to jump down. either I'm going to waste my time or it's going to be, and it's not as egregious in this dungeon, but I'm either going to waste my time or I'm going to go the right way, you know? Like, I don't...
It's kind of a similar effect as getting killed by unfair difficulty in a game that has a low death penalty.
Except that I wouldn't say that the death penalty here is... It's not fun to have to waddle my way back up just because I picked the wrong side. And I know that's the argument that people make for things like the Mega Man 2 quick band stage. But there's no, like, in the quick band stage, you develop skill as you do that over and over again. Whereas this, there's not really any skill there. It's just a time sink.
Kind of like that puzzle in Cathedral where you have to solve it like 3 times, doing the exact same thing 3 times to get each piece of the solution to the puzzle.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about, and I agree with that. I actually only did it twice because the last one you could just guess.
Is that the colored blocks one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one everyone I've talked to is brute forced because it was annoying. Which is, you know, if it's faster to brute force it than it is to actually solve it, then maybe you should have a different puzzle.
Let's see. Salmes is saying he uses the time stop power. On which thing, Salmes?
Oh, probably for Quickman.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one other thing about Quickman that I argue about is that there's, like, you have at least 2 different ways to get through that.
For myself and for other people potentially in the stream, what is this stage? What makes it so awful and talked about?
Quickman?
Basically, you're falling through a series of rooms, and as you're going through the rooms, lasers come from the sides, and if they touch you, you instantly die.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, it's controversial on whether or not it's a good level or not. And people go into camps, and I'm in the camp of I think it's great. I think it's one of the best or one of the reasons why Mega Man 2 is one of my favorites in the series.
Oh, looking it up, I remember this stage. I remember it was annoying. And I had to redo all of it like twice.
Okay, I think there's a hidden door behind one of these fish. There we go.
I think part of the problem is that the game has lives. So if you fail too many times, then you have to start all over again, and your time gets wasted.
So the buoy beam trap, I would actually argue is straight up bad. Ikapun says he hates the Wily stage with the wall trap boss, and I actually agree that that's not a good. That is a reason why Mega Man 2 isn't my favorite in the series.
Oh yeah, that one where you have to have enough crash bombs.
Yeah.
You can't win.
I like the idea of the boss, but you needed to have some way to like fully refill your... Like there needed to be a Yasichi in that level, which didn't exist in any other Mega Man except the first one. And what the Yasichi does is it just refills everything, including all of your weapons. I have played Rosencrustallet, and I have not beat it, just for time reasons. I actually liked the laser level. I thought it was good.
I played through Mega Man 1 and 2, but with 2, I've kind of just like purged it from my memory apparently, because I don't remember what any of these things are.
That's funny. How many of the Mega Man games have you played?
Just the first 2, and then I played like a stage and a half of Mega Man X. I didn't like it.
Hmm.
Didn't like Mega Man X.
You didn't like Mega Man X?
Sorry, is this
all the pitchforks and fire is just started.
Alright, we're gonna need a new third person.
I would almost
play
agree that
much of it.
Mega Man X, if anybody listed it as one of the best games ever, I would be like, yeah, like, I can see that. Like I wouldn't even be confused at the decision. What the? There we go.
It's one of those games I just decided to play at like midnight one day randomly, and I played for like half an hour and got tired of.
I mean,
So I should probably actually give
yeah,
it a shot.
any game
at
can
some
be
point.
bad if you play it in a bad mental state.
Now, I actually like Mega Man X4 more than Mega Man X, and that's only because I like playing as Zero.
Yeah. And I only like Mega Man X5 more than 4 because it has the Hyper Dash and the Speedster. And I like going fast.
Mm.
I don't remember what area I went to first. It had some annoying enemies positioned where you had to like positioned at the edge of platforms that you needed to jump to. I think it was like a tower you were climbing up.
Probably Storm Eagle.
I don't remember.
You look this up.
Didn't I have a potion last time we played this? Does my potion go away when I go to Super Metroid? What happened there?
Oh no, it was Boomer Kawoonger.
Wooner.
Oh, Koinger or whatever. I have no idea what it is.
I
You
guess
know-
they never say it. I always assumed it was Boomer Coinger.
One thing I'll say about the Mega Man X series is I don't remember any of the bosses.
I just wanted to make it rhyme, I'm sorry.
Oh,
The other thing about Mega Man X5 is it had the amazing boss names where they're all like
oh yeah,
references.
that was great.
Whale Mc...
I don't know. I don't think anything can top Cut Man.
X8 was fine. My biggest problem with X8 is that Mega Man X was like terrible in that game. It's like you can choose two of these three characters. You can be Axel or Zero or Mega Man. Like he wasn't very good.
Didn't you have to... Oh no, it was 7 that you had to unlock X.
No, you start with Axel in 8, but yeah. Oh, did you have to unlock X in 7?
Yeah.
And just leave him.
Like, you had to like do enough stages or like die enough times, and then it would just be like, okay, now you can play as X.
I'm wandering around because I forgot what we're doing, and I was getting too caught up in the conversation to remember. But I have the Pegasus boost now, so I can go to the library.
You can go check out Avaria Suit.
Yeah. It's a good novel.
Mega Man ordering will just perpetually confuse me because I haven't looked up the order, and people just say all these words following Mega Man, and I don't understand what they are, but apparently they're different games.
Yeah, Mega Man's universe is not exactly coherent.
And then if you like, there's also the Game Boy games where it like mixes the bosses between different games.
Yeah. Unless it's 5, and then it's like got all these really cool bosses you don't see anywhere else.
Oh yeah, yeah. Didn't they have one for like, or they were named after planets?
Yeah. Pluto and Mars and etc. And the final boss was like Terra. Oh, I don't have the powder yet. Did I already come in here before?
Yeah.
I think I may have gone to the... Like, there's 2 of these, and I think I may have gone to the other one.
Doesn't the Quake act like the powder, so there's a chance it could work?
Maybe? I don't know.
I remember telling you to just drink it out of the bowl.
Wait, what?
Well, there's some kind of liquid in that bowl.
Oh, you're telling me. Okay. For some reason, my mind immediately went to toilet at that point. I don't know why. Okay, so I now have the hammer. Oh, I wanted to look at the map and see where I want to get all the pendants so I can pull the Master Sword. Oops. That's not... This is the map button. Okay, so... Oh, there's a map here too. Oh, so we can't do it yet. Oh well, we'll do this dungeon anyway.
So the Master Sword is the same Master Sword in every Zelda game, right?
Supposedly, I think it's supposed to be the Skyward Sword, like canonically.
Yeah, because like, doesn't it talk or something? Why don't any of the others talk? Is that a plot point?
I don't know. I think maybe she dies at the end. I have no idea. I haven't played the game. Or haven't
So we're
finished
just
the game.
swinging around our dead friend
That's basically what
for
happens in
every other
the.
Zelda game.
Oh, I wonder if I can skip the gate here.
Oh yeah, you normally need the Book of Hylia.
Yeah. I wonder if I come up here, if I can get past the gate.
So how do
Oh,
we feel
nice.
about?
Oh, come on. I'll stand right
How
here.
do we feel about Navi characters? Do they ever serve a good purpose?
I mean, you gotta have a tutorial, and having a character in game is fun, but the problem with Navi is that she'll say hey and then force you to talk to her. And talk with the slowest text possible. And I think that's the only real issue with it.
Yeah, they just immediately started talking and saying whatever you needed to hear. Then it would probably be better. But then so you could miss the
The prompt.
head.
Yeah, it's treating you like you're dumb.
Yeah, Twilight Princess just prompts you to talk most of the time, unless it's like something specific.
But like when I was playing BioShock, I would like start up the audiobooks and then I'd listen to the audiobooks while I was continuing to, or audio logs while I was continuing to play the game. And most people said that they had to like stop playing to listen to them.
So are audio logs like Navi's then? Do you think? Or I mean, I know that Atlas kind of serves
I don't know.
the.
Yeah, Atlas is kind of a Navi.
Yeah. I mean, he tells you specific mechanics. Well, that's a waste.
Speaking of wasting your time, Twilight Princess has the most unskippable door opening cutscenes that I've ever seen in a Zelda game.
Well, I'm sure it was masking loading times originally.
Maybe I'm being dramatic because I haven't played any of the other Zeldas in forever, really. But, like, especially things you toggle multiple times, every single time you toggle it, there's like a 5-second cutscene of it opening or closing.
Yeah, like they do it for chests opening, and I'm pretty sure they aren't loading whatever's in the contents of that chest for that whole.
Yeah, that's just being dramatic.
It's okay for, like, the boss key chest. But not when I'm... Also, when you pick up rupees, I think it's like the first time in your session, maybe. Like, you'll pick up a 5 rupee, and it'll just play a cutscene for it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is obviously a minor complaint, but the bow takes way too long to fire in this game. Like in Link's Awakening, it just goes pew, just instantly. In the original Zelda, pew, instantly. In this game, it's like.
Yeah, that's the worst. No, especially until very late, I didn't have the big wallet, so I had 300 rupees maximum. Just every dungeon is full of rupees. Like over half the chests are rupees, and then they just stay on my map because I have to put the rupees back.
They should let you at least mark the chest so that you know that it's just a rupee chest.
I'd rather the rupees be wasted.
Okay, well, maybe they should just be like, here's some rupees. You can't carry them. Would you like to just throw them on the floor for anybody to pick up?
Well, what do you think happens when you pick up a rupee and you're at max? One that's just on the ground. It just disappears.
Yeah, that's true. I like unepic. If you leave things on the floor, then you come back, you could actually find like thieves running out to pick them up, like these little goblins.
That's fun.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Reminds me of Enter the Gungeon. If you leave pickups in a room, like health or ammo or whatever, more than like a room or two, then it gets stolen.
Oh, this is literally part of the dungeon.
No, that's not necessarily a great mechanic. Sorry.
I think that anytime you can explain something with in-game immersive type elements, I think that can be a good thing. Not always, but sometimes it just makes it annoying.
Yeah, it can be a good thing, but then sometimes, just accept that it's a game. Like, you don't need the
Sure.
lore explanation for everything.
I've
Especially, like, all these games trying to have a lore explanation for respawning. I just find kind of annoying. It's one of my pet peeves.
I think it's cool when they can pull it off, but yeah, if there's no reason for it. Come on, I had to have. Where's the key? There it is. It's just under a pot, of course it is. Can we actually go fight the boss already?
You have the boss key, don't you?
You know, actually, it's not a boss key in this game, which is funny.
Oh. What is it?
It opens the treasure chest. So I think we can go kill the boss, but we need to... Oh, I don't have the bow out. We do need to go back into the dungeon and find the chest because I want to know what's in it, but... Come on.
Gotta get those rupees.
What's the maximum rupees in this game? Is there one?
Probably just under 10,000.
Yeah. Wallet sizes...
Oh no, I guess you do need the key.
Limitations are the worst.
Well, that's annoying. Oh wait, maybe I have it. When did I pick it up? I don't remember picking up the boss key. I guess I have it.
It was on top of a statue and you used it.
Oh, that's right. I used the Pegasus boots to get it off. I remember now. So I still need to go find the big chest then. Oops.
Okay, that makes more sense. I'd rather just have, a sensible limitation, like 999 is fine. But I hate just having like 200 max rupees or something and I'm not allowed to pick up anymore. Especially when you're just constantly finding extra chests that have like 100 rupees in them.
Calderoth and I grew up in the era when 256 was the maximum for everything.
Yeah.
Thanks to binary limits.
Although I remember having to get 500 olives in Battle of Olympus.
I want to play that game.
It was enjoyable, like, for an NES game. Like, when it came out, it was like the closest thing to a Metroidvania.
Yeah, I've seen it on a lot of Metroidvania lists, which is part of why I wanted to play it.
Right, those are fun because they're not arbitrary. Like just having a wallet sizes.
Rupee slurping armor. Yeah, Zelda games aren't always... This is actually one of the last Zelda games where danger of death is actually an issue. A Link to the Past, that is.
I think pretty much the only time I died in Twilight Princess was against this one boss underwater. Because for the second phase, you're supposed to grapple onto his weak point to attack it. But I just kept trying to get close to his weak point, and he does this suck attack with his mouth. Except if you're just anywhere near him, it'll just place you in front of his mouth, like through a cutscene, basically, and then you get sucked.
I am disappointed. Alright, there's one other room we haven't been in yet. Hopefully that's where the treasure is. Hopefully I'm not misremembering that we've actually opened the treasure.
All these fairies would be way better if you had a bug catching net.
Yeah, I know. I wish I knew where I could possibly find it, but of course random and all that.
Yep.
Much longer do you think we should go?
We should probably wrap up soon here. We just finished the dungeon, so that's a good place to stop. I'll see if we can find this chest, and then we'll wrap up there.
One thing that this
There it is.
randomizer does is, like, really
A
shows
key?
off how bad of a reward rupees tends to be.
The reason it's bad is just because there's not much to do after a certain point. Honestly, Geo feels the same way in Hollow Knight. After
Yeah,
a while.
Gold feels the same way in Cathedral.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much the only game that I've actually getting currency in is Dark Souls.
Cathedral at least had the option of buying the extra HP, but you had to go all the way back. Like, there needed to be like a priest right next to the final boss, so you could just refill right there.
I think I spent most of Cathedral being able to spend my money on things.
No, no, it was right there. No, no.
I ran out of things to spend pretty
Ah.
quickly.
All right, we gotta get this eating, and then we'll call it. Just one more thing. One more thing. Unfortunately, I have to go through all the nonsense to get back to that spot.
Let's try not to fall again.
You know, I sort of remember there was an item there, but I decided to use my Pegasus boots anyway, and I don't know why.
Go fast.
Yeah, I guess that's all. I was just trying to speed run and ended up wasting time as a result. Sometimes that happens. The ironic speedrun maneuver.
Yeah, I always tried to save time at the worst possible moments when I shouldn't be trying to save time.
Slow is fast, fast is slow.
It's one of my favorite scenes in Metal Gear Solid 3 when Ocelot jams his gun in the middle of a fight because he wanted to do some fancy maneuver. We need these E-tanks so badly, though, especially when we get to Ridley. That boss is a pain.
Yeah, a lot of the boss fights in Metroid feel like it's just health check.
Yeah, well, looking at Fantoon, you can tell he has a pattern.
Yeah, you can technically dodge everything. It's just usually a lot easier to just tank it and you.
Well, besides Ridley, what other bosses are a health check?
All of them.
I don't know that Ridley is. So when I played last time, I beat Ridley kind of without a lot of things, and he's got a pattern you can exploit.
He does. Ridley's harder than the others, and he does more damage generally. I guess he's the hardest boss.
Aside from spoiler alert Ridley, I think that Super Metroid Ridley is my favorite Ridley. Fight, the fight itself.
Yeah, you mean aside from the Ridley in every other Metroid game to exist?
Well, no, there's one other Ridley that... What is that? Is that the high jump, or what is that?
That's the spring ball.
Okay.
So nothing of any importance.
It's convenient. Not having to bomb and to jump. Okay, so this is a good point to save and
save state again.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back in and save state after I load. I just wanted to do an actual
Just make sure
save.
not to accidentally load state.
Yeah, that is the problem with save states, is that you can oh, I just wiped out all of my progress because I hit the load button.
I mean, most emulators have an undo load.
Oh, do they? Alright. Well, I think we had some fun tonight. We got to watch Master do some Rain World. Are you going to continue after this point, Master?
Yeah, for sure. It's on my list of games I need to play through.
Well, we'll see.
Thanks for all the spoilers, by the way.
I didn't give a lot, did I? You were asking questions, and I was only answering them.
Did this to yourself.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Alrighty, well, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey.